All right, let's do it live on a First Friday edition of the program. Merely Bo and the Great Z. You heard in the Next Level promo there. I got to tell you, young Stefanski blew it on the Blizzard. And you can't do M&Ms. The problem there is they become hard. The chocolate becomes untenable. They become almost like chocolate ice missiles.
True.
You got to have in a Blizzard. You have to have something that's malleable. You can't have it.
There's only
the
one.
M&M has to melt in your mouth. You're behind the eight ball on that because it's frozen.
There's only one proper Blizzard.
I don't want to go. I love your conviction.
Thank you.
I have a feeling I'll probably like your choice, and that you and I both enjoy the same toppings on pizza, among many other foods of similar. Although you like heat more than I do. I think there are several. What is your one?
I'm sure there are several. I'm sure anything with a combination
don't step. I wanted to hear the one.
The one is the banana cream pie.
It's so good.
It's unreal.
It's so good.
It's unreal. It's great.
Yeah, I think an Oreo is usually pretty undefeated
probably
too.
Fine. A chocolate peanut butter, a cookie dough is going to be fine.
But the point with all of that is you have to have the crumble part of it. It can't be
and banana's the perfect thing to freeze. A frozen banana is a delight, and then you've got graham cracker crumble in there. I mean,
it's everything that you'd want.
It's everything you'd want.
Never forget, there's always money in the banana stand. The other thing that was for the kids. The other ones that I would often see that people do that make no sense. And honestly, there is one that's worse than the M&M, and that is the gummy worm. Any sort of gummy worm. First of all, you can't mix those two. Ice cream and gummy worms don't work. That can't work. They're two very different type of sweets. And then the other problem with it is, again, you're dealing with a frozen worm.
Frozen sugar and gelatin doesn't sound like a winning combination.
It's not a win.
Gummy worms belong in like crumbled up Oreos as dirt, and you make like that kind of a dirt cake.
Yeah,
that's what.
Do you like an ice cream from time to time? I know you're not a cream guy typically, but do you like an ice cream cone or an ice cream?
Sure, I don't. I rarely allow myself the indulgence. We've got a lot of. We'll have some type of bananas Foster ice cream in the house at all times, and we'll have some type of a chocolate peanut butter ice cream in the house at all times.
Yeah.
And I will have 1 teaspoon.
A teaspoon?
A teaspoon. 1 teaspoon.
Is that even
bite
a bite? A bite?
Yeah, it's a bite. 1 bite a night. If I have ice cream, which is not every night.
That's incredible discipline out of you to go for a teaspoon.
And sometimes a Grater's black raspberry chocolate.
Yeah, that's a popular win. Yeah. Jenny's does some good stuff in your neighborhood.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, they've got a brambleberry that is
Brambleberry's outstanding.
Yeah, I feel like Miss K would love brambleberry.
Yeah, I think they have a bananas Foster. They have a banana something that we have from time to time.
Yeah, they probably do.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. We're practicing. Away we go.
We're practicing.
Bears here on Saturday. I can't wait to play games that matter.
Me neither.
This one's going to be fun, though. It potentially could be fun. We could see some people.
Well, hopefully we're going to hear from Coach at some point, right? Does he talk today or does he not talk today?
I don't know.
It's not on here.
No talking today.
No talking today?
No talking. So today is technically a Thursday.
Because we're Saturday?
In the work week world. And Coach usually doesn't talk Thursday. It's usually coordinators.
So we will have – but we had Van Pelt yesterday. So is Joe Woods today? Is he? He's not talking?
No.
He's tomorrow, I think.
What the hell is going on around here?
Hey,
Can we get a schedule?
Yeah, well, we've got – look.
So do we have Coach tomorrow at 1? Is he tomorrow at 1?
I don't think so.
Thursday? So is he done?
Coach is supposed to talk tomorrow at some point.
We just don't know when.
But they practice at 11.
Oh, jeez.
So because tomorrow is technically a Friday, so it could be like 12:30 when he talks. Probably 12:50.
After practice.
Look, here's
he's available after practice tomorrow.
Here's the deal. You're not getting anything anyway.
No, but it'd be.
I assume, though, connecting the dots, that since Eberflus has said that his guys are going to play for a half, it's all likelihood, considering Coach acknowledged that they talked about script and all of those things, that you would get some of our regulars.
That we're going to do what they do, I would think. Now, I'm looking on the most recent thing for the week, Gibbe, and maybe it changed, obviously, as things go on. But it did say that he would talk today at 1, but obviously that's changed since Sunday.
There is nothing on the rundown.
No, I don't see that on the rundown.
Internal.
Right. So there we go. So no Coach. Yeah, I'd just love to hear, and Brissett said that he doesn't even know when he talks. Spoiler alert there. Buckets.
You got it going on a first Friday. Sun's out, a little bit of heat back, maybe your last little taste of August, of summer.
Man, I'll tell you what, I got to chase a small ball around yesterday with the
Did
kid.
you really?
Oh, it was first golf in 5 weeks.
What a delight.
It was pure joy.
Of course.
Pure joy.
Yeah.
Right out of bed, smooth 75. It's great. Felt great about it.
While you were doing that, I was molding 15, 6, and 7-year-olds about the intricacies of really just running where you're supposed to run.
I would like people to get a peek into the window of your life, because not only do I consider you a fine man, you are a selfless partner in this program, but you are a selfless father who is solely dedicated to your children's pursuit of sports. And of course, there's great joy in it for you as well.
Sure.
I loved coaching Artie Buckets, but it is a massive time commitment. If you wouldn't mind, for the people who understand that you come in here after doing another program, by the way, for
my other morning
for
work,
3 hours by yourself, then you come here and bring it. And then
I appreciate that.
What happens when you leave here?
You go home, you pick up the kids, you get them some sort of a snack situation. We've been doing that, by the way. That's the win, is like a healthy snack at 4:30.
Love it. Got to give them that energy.
Yeah, get a little bit of that, and then a light meal on the back end is what we've been doing.
Love that.
That seems to be.
But practice is every day, right?
Practice is every single day. So for Not Black Cobra, it is Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, games Saturdays. I'm not coaching Beamsy this year. I'll coach him in basketball. So then for Bootsy, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now the whole time, Not Black Cobra's practicing all of those days except Tuesday. So then I'm dropping him places, and then Beamsy's practicing from 6 to 7:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays. So after I get done with Bootsy's practice, I then go pick up Beamsy from his practice, and then we convene at the homestead. Yeah, I do. I wouldn't change it. Very kind words out of you. I very much appreciate that. And this is kind of what it is from now until
you got like
May.
And for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Well, no, I think the other thing about it is once they get into junior high, you're kind of done.
You can't keep coaching them.
Yeah, because I'll be at all of it, but I'm not going to be at the
practice.
Like once 7th grade, from what I can tell, up through 6th grade, you can help out, and they need it, quite frankly, because there's not enough people who want to do it.
Like this is
but 7th grade, it's like this is the paid coach, and then you're done.
You're done.
So through 6th grade. So. For example, Not Black Cobra is in the 5th grade, so I'll have this year, next year, then he's out of the mix. Bootsy, however, just a 1st grader, so you're a long way there.
How's he handling Not Black Cobra?
I think I got to be honest, I think I'm proud that he kind of gets it.
Yeah.
Like he kind of thought it was funny.
It's because it is funny.
Yeah, he kind of thought it was funny. That it was, and it's obviously a nod to Not Pedro,
of course.
And but I think I was proud of him. Like he started laughing. He's like, that's pretty good. So I thought, oh, you got the sense of humor to understand.
You got to get him some like
there.
NBC Sports shirts that just say NBC Sports.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I always worked for CBS when I was in television, but perhaps I could. Maybe Mr. Donovan could.
Perhaps
he's ensconced. That would be. Yeah, some little NBC stuff. Plus, then I could play into the peacocking. The kids love the peacock.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They're big peacocking.
How could they
a big
not?
deal. Yeah. Made a huge mistake last night. So the littles were off to bed, and then that's my time for silence. You got me excited about Madden yesterday when you were talking about it. And I thought maybe I should play that a little bit.
And?
So I downloaded it.
This is an elite. That's an elite blazer right there. The blazer choice for today.
So the blazer is that a charcoal with a blue?
Yeah, maybe a little
blue
window pane. Yeah, it's an elite, but
I love that.
It's strong. There's something of importance happened today. I can't say what.
Well, he's here dressed like that. So
no,
yeah.
there's
Oh yeah. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, so
Madden.
When I turned it on.
Yep.
So I started the download. It goes pretty quick on the Series X.
Not
it goes
bad.
Really quick. Couple hours
bad.
And you're good. So I did the one that you said where they get the money and all that. So I did that one. So I downloaded that before we went to football, unbeknownst to them. So when I fired up the TV in the basement, and they're on the 3rd floor, when I fired up the TV on the basement, I was unaware that the audio that was previously set was apparently there for like a U2 concert.
Okay.
So EA Sports, it's in the game.
Oh, so they're like swarm. Yeah. A swarm. Yeah, right to the basement.
Bootsy's sprinting. What is this? What is this? Like it's 8:30. He's supposed to be in bed. You just see his head flop around the corner. What is this? What is this? Brothers.
Yeah, everybody's coming. Oh, yeah. It's a party now.
And then, as if that gift wasn't enough, getting them to actually try to go to bed while I bought Madden, all I wanted was like an hour of quiet. That's really what I was hoping
Toast.
for. Gone. So now you couldn't get them to bed. This morning, so I'm up at 6 every day. They were well into gaming when I got up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I said, why are you up? Beamsy goes,
Madden.
Bootsy wanted to play Madden like 5:30. So today's going to go great for them at school. I'm sure.
Man, it's going to be a real retreat for the
teachers.
teachers.
Not pleased by my efforts.
By the way, how cool is it when it opens with Madden and it shows all the various Maddens over the years, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Did you get into the game, the all Madden game, where he's young man on one sideline and old man on the other sideline? And
no, because it was a lot of the stuff that auto launched was happening as I was trying to get the kids to not realize what I was doing.
For sure.
So I wasn't able to really get into it. And honestly, guess how much I played? None.
Zero.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Did you watch Hard Knocks last night?
I did watch Hard Knocks last night. I have a strong opinion on it. Go ahead.
Same. Do you want to? Go first.
No, I've been talking. Please. You. I need to hear your voice, the dulcet tones.
I have no idea if it's going to work, but there is something to me, captivating and motivating about Dan Campbell. I have no idea if it's going to work. None.
Are you ready for this?
But there's something to me that I feel like he will pull out of these guys something.
I came away from it last night thinking to myself that there is from that in the context of that show, he is like Tony Soprano or Tywin Lannister or Larry David. He is a singular force of nature.
100%.
That is beyond anything that I've ever seen in Hard Knocks, so much so that they have punted on what is normally a pretty strict scripting of how these go out.
And for the better.
All this is, so if it's a 54-minute episode, was it 40 minutes of just him on a mic?
100, yes, easily. And then Deuce Staley gets a little bit. Aaron Glenn gets a little bit.
Here's a rookie who might make the cut.
But for like a second, whereas that would have been way too much. Yeah.
We're looking at crystals. I mean, none of that.
None of it.
It's Dan Campbell on a mic. It's basically Dan Campbell unplugged for 3/4 of the episode. Yeah. Every episode. And it's awesome.
I wonder, so this is what I wondered, and I've been on the sidelines with plenty of our coaches. I've been able to observe other coaches. Like, I wonder, is there another coach that emoted the way that he did at the end of a preseason game for a 2-point play? Has there ever been? I mean,
has been previously in a former generation, but nobody in the last 20 years.
I mean, he was like losing his mind.
Yeah.
And was so, but like, let him know this is for the game. And he says, man, if you want to play a drinking game and you do not have to drive, take a drink every time he says man.
Yeah.
Tell you what, man, this winning is great, man. This is the feeling we go for, man. But there's something about him. I came away from this one. This was the one where I was like, I have no idea if this is going to work because it's not based on scheme or anything. But in terms of the force of personality of this hulking, strong figure who cares deeply. Like, there is no question that he cares deeply about the team, the players, the outcome of it. And he's probably too emotional. I bet that at some point that'll be something that he's got to manage. But there is something very compelling about him as a TV character, and it feels like there's something very compelling about him as a leader of men from that standpoint.
Do you know who his offensive coordinator is? Because I don't.
I know Aaron Glenn's the defense coordinator.
Clearly.
The offensive coordinator's got no run.
No run.
Zero. Less than zero. Less than zero.
You look up that. I'm going to make a point.
Deuce Staley gets all the
run. We know that
he's
the running back. Like, yeah, we know.
Him screaming without a voice was
classic.
Incredible.
Like, the way they're approached to the practices with Indy versus, like, our approach with the Eagles, diametrically opposed.
Apples and oranges, brother.
The thing that I thought was really interesting about it is you know that the buy-in that his team, you can tell they will follow him. They're ready to follow him. They are in on it. There's no question. Now, if it goes off the tracks, does it all just come across as phony? So it's but the same would be true, I think, on the other side of it too, right? If the train goes off the tracks, can you motivate? This dude's not going to have any trouble motivating. The other thing I thought, go ahead. Do you have the offensive coordinator?
Yep. It's a Ben Johnson. Has not been featured. You've gotten
Deuce Staley, Canadian Olympic runner. I don't know who it is.
It is not. You've got Mark Brunell. You've gotten Hank Fraley, the O-line coach, and you've seen Antoine Randall L. with the receivers. That's what you've seen so far. By the way, offensive assistant. How about this, J.T. Barrett?
That makes sense. He would certainly have a future in that.
And
I just wanted to see Ben Johnson's
picture
kind of lineage.
I've never even seen him.
All right, what's the lineage here on him? All right, he was with the Dolphins for a while. Well, O'Shea would have worked with him with the Dolphins. He was with the Dolphins from 2012 to 2018.
I think
so
O'Shea was there in 19.
That's where okay, just 19.
Yeah.
That's where Campbell had experience with Miami because he was the interim head coach there.
Yep.
So that's where that came from. Very interesting. All right, so there you go. So that's the staff. So I think that's critical because the offensive acumen is going to have to be there. I feel like defensively, but the real key in this league is, are you putting your guys in the best position to succeed? The other thing I thought of watching this, those images that go around social every once in a while of like a Great Dane and a Chihuahua, and it says these are the same species?
Yep.
Dan Campbell and McDaniel in Miami. They're the same. Like they're both hired to coach NFL teams.
Yes, I would say Dan Campbell and Kevin Stefanski couldn't be more different.
You could do it that way too. But actually, him and most everybody else in the league,
yes,
are completely opposite. But Mike McDaniel feels like the biggest opposite.
Sure. Of
Dan Campbell in every way, physically, all of it, approach, all of it, the whole thing, completely different. And an NFL team hired both of them
for the same job.
Think about we talk about this in terms of the approach to preseason or the approach to training camp. I don't know that the league has ever been so different. Now, most of the league is in the McDaniel camp now.
Yes.
There aren't many Campbell guys left. In fact, who else would you say is in his – is there anybody else that's in that realm?
I mean, Saleh looks like him from a physical standpoint, but he is – I mean, he's got not Mike McDaniel. He's got Mike LaFleur on that staff. They are very much from the Kyle mold, so I don't think he's that. I don't think he's
most
like
of
him.
our
But he goes
league,
out there and gets guys motivated and things like that. But
most of our league is in the Kyle, that tree.
Yeah.
That Shanahan tree. It's most of them.
McVay.
McDermott in Buffalo. Does he have some of that to him? But he's not hulking like that. I'm not sure what Belichick is anymore. McDermott's probably more like Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Where there's similarities there. Would Tomlin be in the Dan Campbell mold? Different style, but, kind of that way.
Great
motivator. I mean, not everybody motivates the same, but I wonder if he's in that.
I think he's one of one. I mean, and I really do. Vrabel would probably be very similar.
Vrabel's the same.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I don't know if Vrabel's style of speech, at least that I've seen. And again,
he's much more sarcastic.
Yeah, and yes. And
no, not like rah-rah, I don't think Vrabel, but just kind of like
muted relative to Dan Campbell's approach
there's
to everything.
Nobody like Campbell.
I mean, when he's pulling out the pants with chalk all over them, he's like, we got to get all this losing out of here, man.
Yeah.
It's that losing, man. We got to get rid of that, man, because, man, winning is sweet, man. Winning is sweet, man. That's why we do this, man. That's why we put in this time, man, so we can win. We're going places, man. I've seen it, man. I've seen the vision. I've seen it, man. I know you know it, man. We're going places. We just got to get rid of that losing, man. Got to get rid of that losing.
It's a little bit Mach. You could do a little Mach in his approach.
Yeah, man. We're going to go places. Yeah. Know what I mean, man? We love winning, man. Yeah. We'll go to Indianapolis and we tussle it up with them, man. Yeah, we weren't ready day one, though. Day two, yeah, man. We were ready, man. Yeah.
I love it. There's a lot to it. There is. I love him. I'm in on him. I hope he wins.
I'm fully in. I hope they're great.
I like
Swift.
Same. I like a lot of the guys on their team. I hope it's crazy. Like, do they even know that Jameson Williams, is he on the team? Is he there?
They haven't mentioned him, DJ Chark.
Nothing.
Hawkinson.
Nothing.
Amon Ross St. Brown got 1 second with his dad, who was Mr. Olympia, and I don't know where the rest of him has gone. It's just in a crazy body transformation. You've gotten a second of DeAndre Swift, but not much. I mean, you got a little bit of that lineman. You got inside that lineman.
Episodes ago,
from
not much. Like Jameson Williams wanted to wear 9, had to call Stafford to get approval to wear 9.
Yeah, where is that?
That would have been interesting for me to hear how that went. But it's 40 minutes of 55 that's all Dan Campbell, and I think they're making the right choice because from an entertainment standpoint, it's killing it. Be sure to catch the Browns preview show tonight at 7, all along the University Hospital's Cleveland Browns radio network. Josh Dobbs and the voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, join Ken and Gerard. That is tonight on the Browns preview show. Coming up next, Jacoby Brissett at the podium. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily, and the Bath Authority can give you that bathroom of your dreams, and they can do it for you in about a day. Think of what your current bathroom would feel like if you had that spa-like experience, and that's what you're going to get at the Bath Authority. It's a reality for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. The Bath Authority is our area's premier bath and shower remodeler. Experts and factory-trained installers. Give them a call now. You get $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. That number is 216-220-8399, or go to thebathauthority.com. It's where affordability meets quality in the largest selection of bath projects, all made in the United States. Change your bathroom from outdated to outstanding in about a day. Superior products with expert installers at thebathauthority.com. And now, Jacoby Brissett, our starting quarterback, at the podium.
Not yet.
You guys are down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next time.
Do you have a preference? Would you like to play?
I mean, it's all a part of the plan. I'm sure we'll know soon, and then we'll go from there.
How much? What would you like to?
What do you feel like you need to get accomplished Saturday night, assuming you do?
I think this whole week is just continuing to get better, focusing in on the offense and as we're getting closer to the season and banking a lot of those reps with a lot of the guys and with O-line and with Kevin calling the plays and just get more comfortable.
Seems like you and Amari have developed a really nice on-field rapport out there. How is that coming together?
It's still a work in progress, for sure, and just going out there constantly, just getting put into different situations and being able to come back and talk about those things, and it's been very helpful. He's a very open guy, so I think it's been a good relationship building.
Jacoby, you're the only quarterback here who hasn't played in a preseason game yet, and you're going to be the starter. Is that a situation? I don't understand that plan.
Well, I'm sure you didn't make the plan. That's probably why. But, it's a part of the plan. We've been doing a good job on the field in practice and making it as game-like as possible. And this week is another stepping stone in the plan.
Jacoby, to go back to Amari, developing that chemistry with him, considering how meticulous he is about route running, how much easier does that make things for you as a quarterback to work with a receiver like that?
Nothing's easy, but he definitely makes it joyful to have him on our team. Like you said, he's so meticulous in what he does and how he studies defensive backs and coverages and plays, and it's been fun to just learn from him.
Jacoby, he really is precise watching him run those routes. Is that unusual to see that guy? I mean, you played with wide receivers on several different teams. Is that on point all the time?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely give him an extra second to see what he does, and sometimes you get just caught watching it a little bit. But it's been a lot of fun watching him run routes and just hearing why he did certain things. So it's been pretty cool.
You mentioned that you have intricate knowledge of the mind of a receiver and what a receiver needs.
He's probably just trying to get me to throw him the ball more.
We were talking to Alex yesterday. He talked about that. There really isn't that drastic a difference between the game plan for you and the game plan for Deshaun. So are we kind of making too big a deal about how different you two guys are?
Well, they come up with a game plan, so that'd probably be a question for them.
So then, do you try to? Is it hard to not try to be Deshaun when you're out there?
Oh, it is very easy for me not to be Deshaun. Trust me.
You've been in a bunch of different systems. What did you think when you first looked at Kevin's playbook and watched him, listened to him kind of explain the system?
It all made sense. I mean, football is football. It's about just how you go about playing football. And he does a good job of keeping the game complimentary. And just seeing the plan unfold as we practice and go through certain situations, and then the first two preseason games and just hearing them talk about why we do certain things in this situation versus the other. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of knowledge been passed around. I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Alex said you spend time after practice and look out his window and see you out here. Is that something you always do, or is that something you're doing because you're still relatively new to this system?
I think it's something that I always do. Obviously being in a new system, you got to put a little bit more extra time into learning things, but something that I always do, obviously just because of you can never get too, I would say, you can never know too much of something. So
you've got a lot of young guys at receiver behind them. And the ebbs and flows, you have good, they have good days, they have bad days. Just what have you seen from those young guys as far as how they have dealt with the ebbs and flows, the day-to-day?
I think the thing that I think they've done a really good job of is coming back the next day and no matter if it was good or bad, but coming to work. And as young guys, that's hard to do because some guys get too high and get too low. But I think that room and that group has done a good job of, every day is a new opportunity. Everybody's, willing to work, and that's all you can ask for.
Drew was just saying, the thing he didn't know about you coming in was how much you like naps. Can you kind of talk about that nap schedule and how does that benefit a nap?
Well, it's been interrupted right now, but I just try and, it's really time to myself, and then my eyes just happen to go to sleep. But just a couple minutes just to be to myself and kind of just relax in the midst of all of the commotion of meetings and walkthrough and working out and stuff like that, just trying to, relax a little bit.
How important is that to have that, just time to yourself?
I can speak for myself. I definitely need it just because I get too excited a little bit, so it's a good way to kind of calm my nerves.
So do you have a routine pregame? Is there time to nap?
Depends on what time the game is, but for sure.
A lot of your teammates have kind of talked about using meditation and things like that. I guess, do you meditate or anything like that too, or does the nap kind of have a similar effect?
No, I definitely do meditate. I do a lot of the mindfulness and things of that nature. So yeah.
Why do your teammates find you so funny? What is it about you that makes you?
I have no idea. Nobody's ever came up to me and asked to tell a joke, but I don't know. I think because I'm serious and they think I'm joking, and but that's probably it.
So are you a dad joke guy, a dry sense of humor guy, a big punchline guy?
I mean, I never really make jokes. I really just think that because I'm older than them and I just say stuff and I'm actually serious and they think I'm joking, that's why they think it's funny.
Hey, Jacoby, you'll be an AFC North rookie this year. I'm just curious.
I will.
As an outsider, what were your observations of the division?
Always a tough division. You always had, teams that play hard, good football, and this was always one of the tougher divisions in the league.
Does everybody outside of the division always think that their division is the toughest? Like, is that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Alex said that no matter who's playing quarterback, everything starts with the run game in the system. Just looking at the guys behind you, how nice is it when you can rely on those guys?
I don't take that as a bad thing, especially when you have those guys back there. I think our O-line does a really good job, and Coach Callahan does a really good job in their run game, and it's a weapon, so I'm not opposed to using it.
Do you like play action? Is that something you?
For sure, yeah.
When you did play the Browns, you made some big plays with your legs in that particular game.
Yeah, we won.
You had a couple, I think 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 rushing.
Do you still do that at
This
this age?
age, Jesus. I'm only 29.
I mean, were those accidental, or I don't recall?
I think one was planned and then another one wasn't. I mean, it's just situational football, just playing football.
How would you describe Kevin Stefanski's offense?
Complimentary. Is that how you pronounce that word? They just said it's how you say that word. How you say it?
That's right.
You say it. I just said that.
You're
Whatever.
When you talk about saying stuff serious, guys think you're funny, like you're joking. Like, are you scolding guys because they're not doing something right and they still think you're funny just the way you say it? Like,
it's just people like that just laugh at anything that's something out of certain people's mouth, and they just blow up a situation that's not even there.
You talked about the chemistry that you've been able to make with Omar Cooper and it being easy, but how important is the chemistry that you're building with some of these guys who are fighting for a roster spot, the wide receiver 4s or 5s and stuff like that?
I think it's extremely important. I mean, we've put a lot of guys in a lot of different situations just to see how guys react, and
back in 30,
a lot of those guys come out and make plays. I think they've made it tough on the organization, which is a good thing. You want that problem, and I'm just excited to see those guys play and build and continue their future too.
With the Bears saying that they're going to play their starters about 25 to 30 snaps in this game, if that's what you get, do you feel like that's good enough prep for you for the opener?
Whatever the plan comes and whatever it is for us, be ready for it and go from there.
You're up.
All right, I like him. I'm down.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Let's go.
I'm down with Jacoby Brissett. I'm in. It's
Let's
going to be
go.
fun. Like his personality. That's fun for everybody. It's good to have a little joy again.
Yeah, that was a fun presser.
Yeah, it is. I look forward to seeing how this offense looks. I think I have a decent idea of how it can look, but it's going to be fun to see as this is managed here over these first 11 games and what Jacoby Brissett can do. And you certainly heard a guy who is very confident in what he's capable of.
No doubt. He is quite comfortable in his skin. He is very, very confident. And he's somebody that the team, I believe, believes in. They know that what he is capable of doing. He is a great leader, and You know, I think Anthony Walker Jr. is fired up. Anthony Walker Jr., don't forget.
They knew him. They knew well.
He flew up here with Jacoby when Jacoby signed his contract.
Yeah.
They're boys.
Yep.
And he's very excited and he's very confident in Jacoby Brissett's ability to lead this football team.
I like it. AP joining us next.
Oh, baby.
What a real treat. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Well, there's a new way to cheer on your Cleveland Browns with the help of your favorite four-legged companion. Barking Backers, presented by Milkbone, is the Browns' newest club for pet parents worldwide. Sign up today at barkingbackers.com. Barking Backers, the fan club for dogs. And now our staff writer, Anthony Poisal, joining us here. By the way, did you see that on the launch on the 2K23 golf that they had Shooter McGavin doing it?
And the Miz?
Miz was in the mix. McGavin is playing with tour pros and people in the launch. That's so great.
Do you think he's going to be in the game at all?
He's got to be.
He's got to be.
Miz doesn't think he's a playable character. Like, you need to be. Michael Jordan is a playable character.
I saw that in the trailer.
Tiger is a playable character.
Yeah.
He's got to be in there.
The key to this is going to be the create a golfer thing.
Yes.
Like how well I liked in the old Tiger in the old days how it took you a while to build up. I like playing on the Corn Ferry now, whatever it was then.
To build your dude?
To build your dude. I love that.
Like the career mode?
Yeah,
that's exactly what I play.
Big fan of the
it's
career
awesome.
Mode. I just
want David starts down in Q school now. In
I like that. Like you got to go grind out, win some tourneys.
I want to be all 100s right away so I can just hit bombs.
This goes to our previous off-air conversation.
I'm not afraid to put in the work, but I want to build a play.
You remember the off-air conversation?
Yeah, let's go for sure.
That's right. All right, well, here we go. What do you think we're going to get Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, we still, yet to see if the starters will play at all. But
I know.
I think that would be.
What's your gut?
I think I think you got to give Jacoby a few reps in an in-game setting with the offensive linemen, and whichever receivers they're able to use. It's just like he hasn't taken a preseason snap yet, and yes, like the practice that he's been able to have so far has certainly been helpful, but. Normally, you want to give your starting week 1 QB a little bit of time in the preseason, and this is the last preseason game left. So, I mean, I think you got to give him at least a few series, and I think the Bears are going to be playing their starters, so it would make a lot of sense to, competition-wise, match him up against their defense for a little bit and just see how he does, or at least just let him get into a flow of things in an in-game setting. And I know he's an experienced veteran and everything like that, but there's still just something to be said for just that small amount of work that the starters normally get, particularly at QB in the preseason. So that's the one thing I would look for if they're playing, obviously, and that's going to be the big story if Kevin does say that the starters are going to be in the game. But then there's
someone who's invested in Justin Fields as a human, just not Miles.
What's that?
Like, don't let Miles play. Period.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, I'm not.
He sacked him 4.5 times last time.
No more.
Yeah.
I mean, he might not come back from it. So we don't need to see that.
Like, not all the stars. I'm not saying like Amari Cooper even has to play either. Like, but just to get Jacoby in there with, at least some of the starting offensive linemen, I think it would be really nice for him to step in get a few more reps with Ethan Posick and just let him. Get used to playing like with those guys in an in-game setting, in a real stadium in front of a real defense that isn't our own. So that's what I'd be looking forward to. And then just some of the position battles that are still yet to be settled.
Don't you think if they've talked, like we've said, they've talked about this whole thing, that we're going to do what they do?
Yeah, give me your bubble wraps.
Like, no, cannot see the field.
Under no circumstances do they even give them. Do you even put them in a helmet, a pad, nothing? Just don't even show up.
Nick Chubb won for me.
Miles,
Chubb,
Miles,
Amari.
Yeah, Clowney as well.
Clowney, Denzel, but then it becomes like every other game.
Right, I know.
So we're either playing him or we're not. So if you're playing him,
you cannot play
I think
Miles,
you're playing
Garrett. I wouldn't play Miles in anything. I wouldn't play Amari in anything. I think my two biggest would be those two.
Yeah,
because
if everything else we have depth,
we still have.
There's nobody who's 90%. There are, if God forbid something were to happen to Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt is 90%. Of Nick Chubb, and then Dearness, and then
Ford.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Sure.
If something were to happen to Amari Cooper, there is nothing 90% of Amari Cooper. If something were to happen to Miles, there is no 90% of Miles. Like, those two are bubble wrap to me.
I agree.
I can't wait to see it. But the Bears are playing everybody, right?
I know. Well, that's
100% of the people.
I don't know. Did he say that? I know he said he was playing the starters like 25 to 30 plays.
The first half.
Yeah.
But those organizations are in completely different spots. Like, that roster is a disaster.
It's still an opportunity for Jacoby, I think, to take more snaps with the offensive line against a defense that hasn't been the same defense that he's been playing against a lot. I mean, everybody talked about how nice the joint practices were, but this is like another. It's not a joint practice, obviously, but it's another chance for him to see what a different defense can do and how the rest of the guys around him react to it. So,
all right, what position battles or roster spots do you think are up for grabs? I think it's pretty easy to get close to 53, but where do you think the final spots are?
the final spots, I would say that fourth safety position is one spot that's kind of important. I don't know it's been talked about a lot yet just because there's 3 good safeties up there. But just seeing what Richard LeCount and DeAnthony Bell, they've been battling it out the last few weeks. And DeAnthony Bell is a guy that's been a little bit of a pleasant surprise, the undrafted rookie from West Florida. But that's one spot. I think it's going to come down to edge rusher too. And Isaac Rochelle, Chase Winovich, Curtis Weaver. Alex Wright, 3rd rounder, he's probably safe lock to make the team, but like that's another spot that there's quite a few guys that are probably jostling for just one position as sort of a backup on that spot. So, and then I think the one that you really don't know which way it's going to go right now is running back. There's so many guys there that I think.
What do you mean? Pray tell.
Well,
what does that mean?
Well, no, I just like there's 6 guys in that room, and like, you think they're going to keep all 6 of them? I don't really know.
In the running back room?
Yeah.
No.
Right, exactly.
There'll
So
be 4.
Right, so it's like, how's that gonna play out? Who
are you considering the other 2 running backs? Kelly and Stanton?
Well, no, but although Stanton is a guy to consider too. But I mean, is Felton definitely considered a receiver?
He's a receiver.
Are you guys counting him as a receiver?
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense then. But
and then the other 4, and then Kelly would be the out.
And hopefully on the practice squad. He's darn good. Or I hope he gets a chance somewhere. I mean, I think he's good enough to run the football in the National Football League.
So then just focusing on receiver then too. I mean, we're kind of waiting. It feels like we've been waiting at least in these preseason games to see a guy that is just able to sort of blow it up for a little bit, and it hasn't happened yet. But there still is one more game left, and I think one guy that you could probably circle as a guy who's going to hopefully get a lot of targets and a lot of playing time is David Bell, just because last week was the first time that he was able to get any sort of in-game experience because of his injury. So I'm really curious to see what sort of workload they give him. And, last week we saw him, I think, 3 passes and 4 targets, and did have a drop, but was able to sort of bounce back nicely from that. So, is he kind of be able to build off that a little bit more and maybe show that he's ready to sort of take, some sort of elevated role, I think, in week 1. And, it won't be surprising if it's not instantaneous, but I still think he's a guy that's going to be relied on a lot in that 3rd game.
Do you think the Browns receivers, as with the people that are currently here and have been here, do you think that is sufficient to go into the season?
That's tough. I will be honest, like from what I've seen in training camp, I'm not really sure yet. Are you in there too, Bo? Yeah.
No, Bo is
no,
sure.
They're not. It's not.
Yeah,
it has to.
Right.
There needs to be another.
Yeah.
I want another guy in there.
Like,
I need an NFL guy in there.
Sure. Yeah. It's not like he hasn't necessarily played poorly, but it's not like Donovan Peoples-Jones has been letting up practices, at least in the same way that he did last year in training camp.
He's solid. I think it's the
I think
it's the next.
I think he's solid too, but you still need more than just those 2 guys to make it through. And I'm sure you guys have talked about the ups and downs that we've seen from Anthony Schwartz, and then after that it's a lot of sort of undrafted rookie guys like Mike Harley and Dalen Baldwin. One guy that I think we all would have liked to see a little bit more, and unfortunately got hurt, was Mike Woods. He was off to a pretty good start in that first week before he had that injury, and he's also, just as a 7th rounder, a guy that was squarely on the bubble. So he's another guy that I'm really curious to see. I know he's not hasn't returned to practice yet. I don't know what that means for Saturday. Probably means he's not going to play, but there's just there isn't a whole lot of evidence behind what Amari Cooper has done and Donovan Peoples-Jones, what you knew you were going to get from those guys to make you feel particularly good about what you have at receiver. So I agree. I with Bo. Like I don't think there's enough there right now. And
there's veterans out there. There are going to be cuts. There are some teams that are receiver heavy. Do we make a trade from the running back room? I don't know, but it feels like before we go to Carolina, there's going to be somebody new.
Yeah,
in that room.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are a few free agents out there. I think Will Fuller's still out there. He was a guy that we were talking about before camp throughout the offseason as someone that they could target. And I'm not sure, Bo. I see you're looking at the list right now.
I just want to get to. I just wanted to see, who's out there. That's so like Beasley's still out there. Sanders is still out there.
We need somebody who can play on the outside.
Yeah. I know.
Right. Like if you sign those guys, like how much of a difference maker is that to just the 2 guys that Bo rattled off and just sort of the
Sanders? Emmanuel Sanders
can play.
I mean, he started for the Bills last year.
I think Deshaun Jackson would be an upgrade on the outside. I know he's 35. I have no idea if he wants to play here, but he can run a straight line.
I think I could
he was pretty good for the Raiders last year.
Yeah, he's 35. Like I mean, he can run a straight line fast.
He had a big game
Fuller's still there.
Thanksgiving against the Cowboys last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. So
John Ross what's going on with him? I can't even remember.
Oh.
I'm just reading names. Did
Yeah.
he get in trouble with him? Was
No,
he's
former,
Bengals,
he just
right?
former first round pick.
Terrible.
Yeah, didn't do a whole lot with Cincy.
I'm just trying to see people who can run fast.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, Deshaun Jackson would be great, but it's just a matter.
You got to have something you can count on there. You have to have a field stretcher that you can count on.
Yeah.
And so I think they're going to have to do it. The problem is at the position, no one's going to cut that. That's not going to be in.
The only team that could.
Is there any team with too much
listen,
depth? Miami?
The Eagles that we just watched are going to have a hard time keeping all those receivers.
Yeah.
They've got they've got Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. They brought in Pascal, who Sirianni loved from his time with him at Indy. They've got Quez Watkins.
Jalen Reagor, first rounder.
So he might get cut, but I don't know if
I don't know if he'll get cut either, but there's still. I mean,
but
not
his stock's
just
not like the highest in the league. They have
but,
Quez,
no.
Quez Watkins, who's good.
Yeah,
like that'd be somebody that maybe you could try to pry away from them. That I'd be interested in. And then heck, I'll tell you what, I've seen enough. I'll kick the tires on that kid who ran by our whole team, Devin Allen.
Yeah.
Like that kid's a 100-year-old rookie. I mean, he last played college in 2016. He hadn't played football since 2016.
Yeah,
he goes to the
insane.
Olympics in 2016, is 5th in the 110-meter hurdles. He goes to the Olympics in 2020. He won the American qualifier.
Yeah.
4th in the Olympics in the 110-meter hurdles in Tokyo in 2020. They signed him to give him a camp tryout this year. He last played for Oregon in the year 2016 and went out there. And you want to see world-class speed? That was world-class speed. I mean,
he may look easy.
And then the next one, if we didn't get pressure, he was gone again.
Yeah. I mean, they could have hit him multiple times for sure.
I'd give him a look.
You think they're that type? I mean, that's pretty amazing little. And plus, like how you love finding things.
Yeah, but I don't know if they'd let him go. I mean,
that's what I mean. I don't
like,
think that they would let him. I'm wondering if they wouldn't let him go.
But
then that means like Quez Watkins, maybe
somebody's
got
to be out there. Quez Watkins was a starter last year.
Yeah,
and he's good. Like he would be. Deion Kane looked great for them. By the way,
AB.
I was gonna say Deion Kane was the guy I originally thought you were talking about.
Yeah, he looked great for them.
AB's tight with how he rose. So that potentially there could be, hey, we just don't have room. Do you have an interest? What do you have that we could have?
For sure.
We could maybe that's the way that works.
And there's a possibility they might. There was rumors that they were interested in running backs. Miles Sanders they like a lot, but never can stay healthy. Scott and Gainwell are very small guys. We have running backs.
Yeah, there's definitely a swap that could be made there.
But if we're giving up somebody, I want somebody nice, somebody real nice.
Yeah, we need a guy. You need a guy.
Yeah.
I think
we'll
so.
See.
So we've got this week, and then we'll have that conversation. That cut down all the way to 53 from 80 to 53 will be by next Tuesday.
Tuesday, 6 days.
I think tight end 3 is an interesting conversation, and do we keep 4? My guess is not, but I think it feels like Nakia Griffin-Stewart is giving Miller Forrestall a legit run for his money, and then you got Johnny Stanton with the ability to play fullback in there as well.
Yeah, Stanton's definitely interesting. They've been using him as sort of like as a running back, as a fullback, and as a tight end. we'll see how much they kind of value that versatility. I mean, they love versatile players any spot in this team. But yeah, I think Nakia Griffin-Stewart, especially over the last few weeks, I think he looked good in joint practices too. Is a guy that's definitely giving Forrestall a run. I think Griffin-Stewart, I don't have the measurements on me, but I think he might be a little bit bigger and might be more of a benefit in the blocking game, which I think that third tight end is right. I think that's what they're going to want to use that third tight end position for, just because this isn't going to be an offense that necessarily uses 13 personnel as much as before, but when they are, it's probably going to be for blocking and plays like that. So I think Zaire Mitchell-Payton is also a guy he's made a few good plays. I'm not saying he's necessarily giving Forrestall run the way Griffin-Stewart has, but it all depends on just how the coaching staff is evaluate these guys, and then who knows, maybe one of these guys could flash on Saturday again and bump their stock up a little bit before these cuts are made.
How much of how much of there is that? How do you think they weigh the work that's done every day versus flashing on a Saturday?
So here's the thing. The evaluation's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Where it becomes an issue is I'll go back to 2014, because that was our final preseason game was against the Bears at night at home, and Isaiah Crowell ripped off like a long touchdown run, had another long run, and the thinking was at that point, okay, we'll just put this guy in practice squad. Like we love him, and eventually he's going to be on our active roster. But after he had that game, they had to keep him, and he ended up being leading the team in rushing that year.
Yeah.
So that kind of a situation where somebody that you wanted to keep in your program, but you were not thinking about cutting, you were cutting to get on your practice squad, you have to say, okay, wait, we're not going to be able to get this guy to our practice squad.
Yeah. Right.
And that's the problem, is that where we have those issues, and I'll even go into this year's draft class, wide receiver. Like,
right. If a wide receiver has one of the guys that we've talked about has a big game on Saturday, like that's going to be huge for the decision.
It will be, and we're also in a position where if we really love Mike Woods, let's say, does anybody else, if we cut him, does anybody without even seeing him in the preseason, or can you get him to the practice squad, or do you have to use the roster spot on him? And then Isaiah Thomas, who flashed very nicely in his one preseason start with 2 sacks, he'll play again. But that room's loaded because Isaac Rochelle's played great, and they like Winovich a lot. So, and the first 3 are the first 3.
Right.
Like, and you can't just have 6 defensive ends.
No.
No matter what, no matter how much you like them.
Yeah.
No, not. All right.
There's going to be tough decisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never a tough decision having you in here, buddy.
That's right.
Hey,
Good job as
I
always,
appreciate
AP.
that, guys.
Good talking to you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, coming up next. Oh, my gosh. We got a little better or worse coming up at the bottom of the next hour. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, Rumpke Waste Recycling, family-owned and operated. Whether you join them as a customer or as an employee, you'll become part of the family. Visit rumpke.com to learn more. CBS Sports 2022 preseason AFC North team. We're not looking at any of it. We'll do our own. Let's see how it stacks up. You for that, Gibby?
I like it.
I'm in.
All right, let's do it. All right, well, let's do our own.
I feel like Zagura's already looked at it.
I have not looked at this at all.
I forgot a lot of it.
All right. Quarterback, Joe Burrow.
Quarterback, Joe Burrow. Yep.
Running back, Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb. And I think we should do 2 running backs.
Okay. Mixon. So you're.
I did Mixon.
Oh, jeez.
And Najee. I mean, it's loaded. And Kareem.
Mixon, Najee, Kareem, a healthy Dobbins. Dobbins not going to make that cut. To me, it comes down to. I'll tell you what. I love Kareem. Najee was unbelievable last year.
So is Joe Mixon.
But, I mean, it was constantly battered. It was 9-man boxes battering. How many times he caught stuff from Ben with his back turned, only to turn and get drilled on 3-yard, like he was a safety valve. He took a beating. I think I'm fine with it being Mixon. But I also, if I was doing it for the next 5 years, I would take Najee.
Yeah, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer there. Okay.
Joe Mixon will never play. He's hurt all the time.
Just like Stafford.
Yep.
Let's go in there. Let's go.
That was one of my favorite
going
bets
down
out of
there.
you.
Going down the
no
rabbit
idea
hole.
if he actually was or not. Z quickly looking to fact check you.
Yeah, hold on a second. I mean,
just remember the one year, and maybe it wasn't last year, but Z had him on a fantasy team.
He hurt his
and
foot.
every other week, Zagura was
ready
to.
it was Mixon watch.
Last year
well, that's the year they tanked for Burrow.
No, it was 2020. 2020. Burrow got hurt, then he got he was hurt. He only played 6 games. Last year, 16 games, 1,205 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns, 314 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns.
Is that the most games he's played in a season?
He played 16 and 19 as well, 14 and 18.
Yeah.
So he's not bad.
Come close.
He's got 3 seasons of more than 1,400 yards from scrimmage in his career.
I want to see what Najee was last year versus what I had in my head.
Najee's volume.
1,200 yards. Oh, my God.
Look at his yards per carry, though.
Yeah, 4 yards a carry.
3.9, yeah. 74 for 467. I mean, he had 381 touches.
That's what it felt like, in the NFL. Though. 74 for 3. That's what it felt like. No one to throw to, dump it to him. He turns around and just gets smoked.
Yeah.
Over and over. And he kept doing it. He played all 17 games. It was really remarkable.
Yeah, he had 1,600 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah. All right. Receiver.
Jamar Chase. I'm doing 3 receivers. We could even do 4 if you want.
Well, let's make it hard to get in here. Let's make it
3.
So it's difficult. I'm for 3.
All right. I'm going to say Jamar Chase.
Okay.
T. Higgins.
Amari Cooper.
Amari. The 4 people that Chase isn't a lock.
He's the lock.
The next 3 you have to pick 2 of. T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson feels like
Amari Cooper. So it's Amari versus T. Higgins.
I mean, I'd rather have Amari than T. Higgins.
Okay.
And it feels like Deontay Johnson is the obvious other lock. Yeah.
All right, so I'm fine with that. T. Higgins.
They find receivers, by the way.
T. Higgins, 1,091 yards, 6 touchdowns last year, 14.7 a catch. Yeah, and he's 6'4". I mean, he's a giant, but he would be not a bad 4th. And I think after this year, maybe Rashad Bateman's going to be in the discussion a little bit.
I agree with you. So a little bit of fantasy advice.
Sure.
From the people I'm talking to down in Cincinnati. T. Higgins,
big year.
Big.
He is big.
Is this his last year before free agency?
He was a 2nd-round pick. This is his 3rd year in the league. He came in with Burrow.
Then you got 4 years.
I mean, my God, they got Burrow and Higgins in the same draft, and the next draft got Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Not bad.
People, they got to take Penei Sewell. No, they don't. They need weapons.
They need weapons.
So they got him.
Got him.
All right. Tight end. Andrews.
Yeah.
Clearly.
No question. Okay.
Although that kid out of the puker land is pretty good.
Freiermuth, and so is the Chief. But Andrews is elite.
Yeah.
Left tackle.
All right, I'm going to just do tackles. To me, it's Ronnie Stanley. He didn't play last year, but he'd be regarded as the best. And Conklin, 2-time All-Pro.
Yep.
Okay. Guards, ours. right?
Yes.
And then the center, I don't know. I said the kid from Baltimore.
That's Linderbaum, the rookie out of Iowa.
Yeah. And I know that the Bengals brought somebody in too. But I'm going to go with Linderbaum.
I'm trying to think, just from a Bengals, they were bad on the offensive line last year. They added Ted Karras is the guy out of New England, the center out of New England that they added. They also added La'el Collins at right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
But Karras is the guy out of New England that they added in the mix. My God, they have Chase, Higgins, and Boyd.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd's awesome. And Mixon.
Boyd's in his final year.
All right, so this is what this guy's got, what Jared Dubin's got. Burrow, so same. Chubb, same. He has Chase, Higgins, and Johnson. We went Cooper over Higgins. Mark Andrews, and then his flex was Chase Claypool, which is insulting that was over Amari Cooper.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Or Mixon or Najee Harris, if we're calling it a flex.
So he only had the one running back. He only had Chubb?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then on his line, he had Ronnie Stanley and Jedrick Wills. Love Jed, but
Jed is not better than
he's
Jack.
Not better than Jack Conklin.
No.
I mean, Jack Conklin, I'll say it again, two-time first-team All-Pro.
Why is there no love? Is it just the right tackle thing that people aren't aware of how good he is?
Idea.
It's just stupid.
All right. Guards, they've got Joel Bitonio.
Don't do it.
And Alex Kappa.
The free agent that the Bengals signed from Tampa?
Wyatt Teller's second-team All-Pro 2 years in a row.
He can't
2 years
not
in a
be
row
on the team.
That sounds like
insulting.
This makes. Where's this from, Gibbe? CBS?
CBS.
Of course. Yeah. CBS loves a stupid list.
Ignoramus. And then for center, they've got Ted Karras. Fine. He doesn't even mention, Wyatt Teller's not even mentioned in the write-up of the offense.
He doesn't
because he doesn't even know who he is.
Can't do that.
Yep. So he's out. Okay.
How do we want to do this? We want to go 2 rush guys and then 2 in the middle on the defense?
Yeah. 2 rush.
Oh, that's pretty easy.
2 interior.
Boy, that's going to be a challenge.
All right. So rush, Miles.
And TJ.
Interior.
Cam
Hayward. And got like a DJ Reader. We've got Calais.
I mean, he would be in there. Yeah, DJ Reader's pretty dang good. If I was putting a defense together, I would probably go him.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I would probably go.
Calais will be my honorable mention. All right.
That's ridiculous. Miles, TJ, Cam Hayward, DJ Reader on the D line.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. 3 linebackers, or we want to do 2?
We can do 3.
Okay.
I'm going to go JOK. I'm going to go the kid from Cincy who had all the interceptions last year.
The kid from Wyoming, Logan Wilson. Yep.
Yeah. And then maybe that it. Maybe we'll just go 2.
Pittsburgh. They had Highsmith, Bush.
Highsmith's the rusher.
Yeah. And then Devin Bush, who was injured.
Schobert, by the way. Did you see Schobert cut by Denver?
Yeah.
At the cut to 80. Man. Miles Jack. I think let's just go with 2.
I like that. I like JOK and Logan Wilson, and that's all I need.
All right. Cornerbacks.
We want to do 3 corners.
Yeah.
Denzel.
Yeah.
I think Newsome. Are we overvaluing him? Because the problem is the Ravens guys, like Marcus Peters is coming off the injury.
So is Humphrey, right?
And Marlon Humphrey's coming off the injury. They're both.
Those are the top 4.
Those are the 4 for sure.
Those are the 4. All right, we'll just go with those 4.
Because Pittsburgh doesn't have anybody of note at corner,
and neither does Cincinnati.
And neither does Cincinnati. That's really Cincinnati's only. It's their only issue.
Cincinnati does have Jesse Bates, though.
We'll get to that. That's at safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got Denzel, Newsome, Humphrey,
and Peters. Just give them all. They all get to make it.
Well, we only had 2 backers. We can have 3.
Fine. We'll take 4.
Okay. Safety.
Jesse Bates.
Minka.
And Minka. Yep. I think that's right. All right. Let's see how we lined up. This guy's got Watt and Garrett, Hayward and Campbell, Logan Wilson and Wusu Koromoa. Okay, he's getting back on track a little bit. Marlon Humphrey, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome.
Wow.
Minka Fitzpatrick and Marcus Williams from Baltimore, who was formerly of New Orleans, who's a very good player, and he has the flex Jesse Bates. We took Williams out. We put Peters in, so it's still a Baltimore. So we're much closer on that side.
Yeah, he's closer here.
Yeah, he's closer. Congrats.
This is this. I think this would be. Now, I think the conventional wisdom, and I think it's the correct, is that the AFC West is the best division in football, but it is quarterback driven, right? Because all the quarterbacks are 3 of them are excellent, and Carr's really good.
Our division's ultimate team is as good as any.
That's what I was getting to. I'm wondering if their ultimate team, the AFC West's ultimate team, how it would stack versus our division.
So you're going to have, I'm going to trade this off the top of my head quickly. So from a receiver, running back standpoint in the AFC West, you're going to have Austin Eckler, who's really good.
Really good.
You are going to have from a wide receiver standpoint.
Well, who's the second back? Could it be your boy in Denver?
Javonte. Yeah.
Josh Jacobs?
No. Nobody in Kansas City. Yeah, Javonte. I like that.
By Javonte.
He's really good.
Yeah, he is.
So receivers.
Devontae is.
Devontae Adams.
You have Devontae Adams, but you don't have Tyreek Hill anymore.
No, but you have Devontae Adams. You've got Keenan Allen. You got Mike Williams. You got Hunter Renfrow.
Mm-hmm.
You got Cortland Sutton.
Yeah. I think people were waiting on Jerry Jeudy, but who knows? They're not as accomplished as these guys are.
By the way, you'd run 2 tight ends with Kelsey and Waller.
Yes, you
and
would.
Be quite pleased with that.
Yeah. Yeah, tight end is
I don't know the O-line.
I can't speak to that either.
Let's go on the defensive side. Pass rushing standpoint, you're going to have Bosa. You got Bosa. You have Chandler Jones. You've got Khalil Mack is now in that division.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, you've got Chris Jones.
Chris Jones inside. I don't think so. Because the deal is Mahomes is the quarterback, but Burrow's right there.
You got Surtain at corner. You've got the guy down, J.C. Jackson, who just came over from New England with the Chargers at corner.
Safety, it's
Derwin.
James and I don't know. Honey Badger's not in Kansas City anymore.
No. Denver's probably good. Denver has somebody that's really good at safety.
Probably somebody. We're not doing Broncos daily, so we wouldn't know all of that. I think this could hang with anybody.
Justin Simmons is his name, I think. Does that sound right?
Sure. That does seem right. Didn't they sign him from
like a franchise player?
Yeah.
No, he's been their guy.
Yeah, we've been talking about him. Remember we talked about him when we were looking for safeties a couple of years ago?
Let's see if he's still there. Yeah. Number 81 in the top 100 players. Yeah, so that sounds about right.
He's
the guy who took out Starkey.
Yes.
Oh, did he really?
He tried to.
Starkey's toughness is
Starkey's still around. He's fine.
Yeah.
No, I think so. I think this might hang with any in football.
Yeah.
When you have the elite combination of
we have the best pass rushing tandem in the period.
You've got a top 5 quarterback, I think the best running back. You've got, I think, a top 5 receiver. Your offensive line is loaded up.
The
you
NFC
got the
West,
2 of the 3 best defensive linemen. Are in your or pass rush, whatever you want to call it.
And
your corners are good. Cam Hayward's probably one of the best in the middle.
Your safeties are good.
I think ours would hang with anybody.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's the most evenly spread talent division I think in football.
Yeah,
that's your exercise. All right, that was fun.
There it is. Good
job.
Stuff, Connor.
Good job out of you. Very good job out of you. Coming up next, Bitonio from the podium. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The Land on Demand is now free in the palm of your hands. During the entire month of August, ESPN Cleveland, the Bath Authority, giving fans free access to the Land on Demand for all the news you don't want to miss. See us live in the brand new studios. Replay all your favorite shows commercial-free and on demand. Get all access to Tony Grossi's Browns analysis and more. Visit thelandondemand.com or download the app today. The Land on Demand, remodeled by the Bath Authority. And now here's Joel Bitonio from the podium.
You've been in a lot of these camps, you know.
You guys are down.
This one, you feel like you and you guys are where you want to be at this point?
Yeah, I think we're doing good. You know, I think it's been really competitive. You know, I think they've done a good job of ramping us up when we needed to and kind of giving us some days to recover here and there. But it's been good. You know, I know we have it's different now that we have 3 preseason games because you still have that whole extra week, you know, after this game to kind of keep working and keep getting better. So we still have, you know, 19, 18 days before the first game, a few weeks of practice, so we can keep improving in that sense.
So when it comes to preseason rankings, let's say you and Wyatt make up the #1 guard combo, what do you think when you see that?
You know, I think that's a cool ranking, but I think we also have to go out and improve it. You know, any time really that I've gotten recognition or we have gotten recognition as a group, I think the first thing in my mind is like, well, we got to prove this now, and we got to show the world that we can be, you know, the best guard unit in the league, and it's something we strive for. You know, every day in practice we talk about pushing each other, pushing the group, and just trying to take that next step. You know, because there's always, especially a line play, there's always something you can improve on.
What do you have to adjust to going from Nick at center to Houston?
You know, they're both smart guys. You know, Nick is a little bit, you know, faster and shiftier and kind of a smaller guy. Poe is a little bit bigger, stronger guy. So they're just different body types, you know what I mean? But honestly, like, the footwork and stuff has felt pretty good. You know, usually you worry about some guy having like a bigger base or a smaller base, but Nick always played with a pretty big base. So all the guys are, you know, they're pretty equal in that sense. You learn some of their terminology, how they communicate, how they pass off games. There's a bunch of little things, but through practice and through, you know, the work, you kind of get to know those things.
Did Dunn's mobility in that game against the Eagles surprise you, or did you know he had that in?
No, it was his first game at center, but I've seen him pull and I've seen him move a little bit before. And that's the great thing about Coach Callahan is he's always working the backup guys. Even if it's not in team periods, they always get reps at center before practice or after practice and try and work. So I think we have a few guys that can snap the ball and move and play, but I know that's probably the toughest thing you have to do at center is snap and pull at the same time. And it was pretty impressive, some of those blocks he had on the edge.
Joel, year 9 for you. Has the AFC North ever been as good or as balanced?
I mean, I think my rookie year, everybody was like 7-4 at one point, you know. So I mean, there's been some times where like there's always good, you know. But I think we're at a point where you don't really know who's going to come out of it, and it's going to be a challenge every time you play. And I mean, we have the Super Bowl runner-up, you know, in our division. I know Baltimore was a little banged up last year. Pittsburgh, for whatever reason, always is, you know, solid, and hopefully we can, you know, keep taking those next steps and be competitive and try and win a division. But it's always a tough division, and really no matter what, it's one of the most physical divisions. I think when you watch the tape and you see things, it's just like, man, they, you know, play kind of a different brand of football.
Last time you taught us how to pronounce Yelda. What have you seen? What's the scouting report on him? Like, what have you been around him now for a little bit?
Yeah, he's super strong. You know, he's a little bit more compact, but he's super strong. I mean, if you look at his quads, and we always joke around how big his legs are and how powerful he is. But he's a smart guy. You know, he can play all 3 positions inside. He can move people. He can move pretty well too. You know, I think a lot of our inside guys are pretty mobile. But he's good and he's smart. I mean, he's just another. Honestly, like, you know, I don't know how to make the tough decisions, but we have a lot of guys on the inside I think that can, you know, be valuable to this team, and he's definitely one of them.
You know that you're not going to have Deshaun for the first 11 games. So the question is, what you do up front different for Jacoby than for Deshaun? You know, what you're asked to do, is it different schematically?
Definitely not schematically. I think we're pretty much in the, you know, our offense is our offense. I don't know how Kevin's going to call the game comparatively, but we have all those plays in. And then it's a feel thing. You know, I didn't really ever get a chance to play with Deshaun yet, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you kind of have to feel that out. And, you know, we're getting used to Jacoby back there. But I think they're similar enough. I think we're going to call the same plays. And as an O-lineman, like, in the back of my head, it's like we're blocking forever anyway, or trying to. So it's one of those things, you know, and hopefully we're calling enough run plays and play action, and it all kind of works out for us.
Jacoby, we were talking to him about everybody says he's funny, and he was saying saying, I don't know that I'm that funny. I'm older, and maybe these guys, I'm being serious, and they just think I'm funny. So, since you're kind of more in the same age group, do you think he's funny? And and if so, what makes him funny?
Yeah, he is a funny guy. I mean, like on the trip to the Bahamas and stuff like.
Back in 30.
The older, along with myself and stuff like that, and I think just him being like not even a father figure, but just like an older guy. Sometimes like what he said was common sense, but like a lot of the young guys kind of took it as like, oh, is he joking with us right now? And things like that. But he's just a funny guy. I mean, he's a little bit sarcastic sometimes and stuff, but he's a good guy, and I think the locker room really does kind of lean towards him, and he relates well to a lot of the players.
So he's a good guy to help navigate you guys through what is a challenging time.
Yes. Yeah.
You're up.
All right, there's Joe Bitonio at the podium. We play a little better or worse coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily at 8:50 ESPN Cleveland. Elk and Elk Serious Lawyers, serious injuries, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk and Elk is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Look who's here.
Hey, get back. By the way, real quick aside,
Sure.
you know how back in like Jerry Glanville's days, he had the get back coach that would like keep him off of the field?
Yeah.
I feel like Connor's like our comeback coach.
He's a comeback coach?
Yeah. He's like, all right, 30 seconds.
Yep, he is. He's a good comeback coach.
Well, we have a tendency to take 45 seconds to come back from break.
That's not true.
Oh,
outrageous accusation.
Do you want me to play it?
I do. Yeah, I would like you to play it. I would like to find a scenario where everything was operational in here, where mics were read, where all the things, because sometimes we have some turnover. There's other humans in this studio.
Or we have to take everything out
Chairs
to go on
casualty.
remote.
Chairs, give them lives.
This chair is not safe.
I know.
What have I been saying?
Mo Pedman.
Now you finally know.
Mo Pedman took it out.
That's an understatement.
He's got to have named chair.
Yeah.
Named chair. This one's
That's yours.
This is yours.
That's yours. That's how that goes. Yeah, I think. But I'd love to find 45 seconds.
45
believe
seconds.
me,
I'd like to find a
45-second
one,
and I will play it for you. Yeah. I can tell when I'm editing. I'm like, there's a giant music bed right there, and I'm like, there is a discussion going on behind the scenes. And
I would argue
what's going to happen here is you're going to find that, and you're going to assign us blame for things that we had nothing to do with.
There probably would be some other issue that was going on.
Connor's trying to keep us on clock.
Whether this wasn't, something operationally here where we're not hearing.
He's formidable too. I can't see him because of the way the studio is designed, which is great. So I don't have to see when he's like go to break because I don't even see it.
Yeah.
No, that's good. He could be right in front of your face, and the chances of you going to break are 50%.
To be fair for him,
outside of the radio network,
Stevie, like
outside of the, so I'm good on the radio network. That's what you're saying. And then here I'm lawless.
Yes.
Okay. Well, at least there's a compliment in there somewhere.
There was some compliment in there.
I've got a couple of real compliments today.
We do know the clock on here.
Yeah.
There's a method. There's a method to all the madness. It
1 to 3
all equals up.
1 to 3 is not the clock.
That's the clock. Start at 1
to
end
3
at 3.
is not the clock.
Feels like the clock.
Yeah.
Oh, this quick before we get to this.
You're fine.
Little
we
bit
got plenty
of NBA news here that Chet Holmgren, the number 2 pick of the draft, torn ligaments in his foot. Always the trouble with the extra tall guys. You're always worried about that.
Hey, by the way, Kevin Durant, lots of drama, and Brooklyn just said, we'll call your bluff. We'll see you here.
Bill Simmons wrote a thank you letter to him for all of the content over the summer because there was nothing for them because they're so NBA heavy. So thanks for the content. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, kids.
By the way, like how could you have a problem with Steve Nash?
Well, I don't know. That feels like that would be maybe you're the problem.
Yeah. Tarver was there at Santa Clara with him.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did you have
surfing?
Wasn't it the great Zago who enjoyed Justified?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a great scene in that.
And
Pedro. I'll change the vernacular. If you see a jerk in the morning, you see a jerk. If you see a jerk in the afternoon and you see a jerk in the evening, you're the jerk.
You're the jerk, baby.
You're it. Yeah,
that's right.
That's it. Great line from Raylan Givens.
Yep.
That's where I feel about the Durant thing. Like at some point, look in the mirror, brother.
He wasn't
you're unhappy
happy
everywhere.
With the Warriors.
You can't be happy living in the Bay Area, playing on the best team ever.
Yeah.
What's the problem? How much better does it have to be for you?
Maybe
to be happy.
Maybe wants to be happy and lose. I don't know. I couldn't be happy.
Did you guys have? We should talk about this. Len Dawson passed today. I was unaware that he was an Alliance native. I did not have that.
Stark County.
I did not have that he was an Alliance native. That he was just so synonymous with the Chiefs and that cigarette photo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Was the quarterback on their Super Bowl champions. He
and was he on Inside the NFL Forever? That's where I remember him from. That was like the formative part of my youth. That's where I remember him.
So that show, I didn't have the cable. My aunt would record HBO for me as a kid, and that show would air. I think it aired like on Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe Thursday.
And in my mind, it's Len Dawson, Nick
Bonacotti.
Nick Bonacotti, from the Dolphins, right?
Yep.
From their undefeated team.
And there was one more
Those two are the two.
Those are the synonymous guys.
I'm trying to remember if he was in their booth last year because he was still doing games.
Well, he was a local sports guy in Kansas City on
Correct.
the local affiliate forever, like doing like what Jim does, like for Channel 3. So that was the setup. But that was it. It was inside the NFL.
Totally.
That was the only way that you could see every game. I didn't have cable when I was little. Didn't have cable. So I wasn't there was no NFL primetime. That didn't happen until I got into high school.
It was the show.
So it was the show. You wanted to see the whole league, and then you got the NFL films, and he narrated. That was it. That was it with Len Dawson. I didn't realize he was here for a short cup of coffee either.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Until I read that this morning.
Yeah, we've had a lot of dudes.
So 1978 to 2001, is called the Dawson Bonacotti era. So
on Inside the NFL, 78 to 91 to 2001.
Yeah. So Len Dawson. Well, he showed. Hold on. Here we go. In 1980, 80 to 2001. So Merle Harmon left for NBC. Len Dawson was joined by fellow Hall of Famer and former Miami Dolphins linebacker Nick Bonacotti. In 1989, newly retired Chris Collinsworth joined as an on-air reporter. Remember, Collinsworth was there. In 90, he joined them as the third host, and some of the co-hosts during that time were Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Glanville. After the 2001 season, Dawson and Bonacotti both retired from the show. From 2002 to 2007, the show was hosted by Bob Costas with Marino Collinsworth and Chris Carter, which that
doesn't suck.
I remember that. But, yeah, it was Bonacotti, and I mean, Collinsworth's been around for a while.
Yeah.
It was Len Dawson and Bonacotti. Collinsworth was the third guy, but that wasn't until later. It was really just the two of them. That's why we couldn't think of a third. It was the two of them.
It was just the two of them.
Yeah, he didn't join as the host for a decade later.
Do they still do it? Is that show still on?
It is still on. It's moved to Showtime and Paramount Plus. It is James Brown, Phil Simms, Brandon Marshall, Ray Lewis, and they just added Julian Edelman to the program.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like they don't promote that.
No, it doesn't get a lot of
It's got to be, they got to push it on CBS probably, right? You guys are probably watching games, and so you guys are at the game, so maybe you're not. They got to press it there. It's got to be pushed there.
I would think.
Yeah. So, Ohio legend. 87? They have that number right on the age.
On his age?
Connor says yes.
Good job.
Had a baby.
All right, time for a little better or worse, Gibby.
Yeah. Higher or lower?
Let's roll.
Since three of you think that it's better or worse, it's higher or lower, actually. NFL Power Rankings, the debut on ESPN.com. All the ESPN NFL Nation reporters contribute. First and foremost, at number 17, your Cleveland Browns. Segura, higher, lower, or just right?
I'm going to take a page out of Missouri Gibbs'
Do you have a
book.
you have a printout?
Oh, yeah, we're right. Connor's running a great show over here.
All right.
And it's not in landscape.
No, it's perfect. Look, I think we're better than teams that are ranked ahead of us. We have to go out and prove it. Their skepticism abounds about our football team. A lot of turmoil and tumult surrounding us, but I do think that we can beat anybody on this list. I think the top 8 teams feel to me like they're in a little bit of their own genre, and then I think teams 9, honestly, all the way through team 20 are really good. Like I think the Saints are going to be good. They have a great defense. I think Miami's good. I think Arizona's good. We're good. Patriots, I think we're better than the Patriots, but we'll see. Eagles, we know they're good. Colts, again, I think we could beat them. Raiders, Broncos, Titans. I'm not as big on the Titans. Cowboys, I mean, Ravens. That's a good group of teams. There are a lot of good teams in the NFL is the bottom line. And it's fine. Who cares? Who cares what this says? We got to go out there and do it. We got to go in week 1 into Charlotte, North Carolina, Flair country. Woo! And we've got to beat the Carolina Panthers. And then we can start to talk a little bit because then you get the Jets at home. You got to win that one. Then you got to beat the Steelers. We got to be 3-0 right there. And then we can talk.
I think it's just right. I think it's appropriate.
So I said.
I think if you're here every day, you could feel a little more bullish about our defense than probably everybody around the league is. But look, we have major question marks at receiver other than Amari in terms of from a proven standpoint. And while we love Jacoby Brissett, there's going to be a certain limit to what that's going to provide. So, I mean, I think the thing that's, and I'm sure I don't know if you have these on your list of the things to discuss, but like, I think a bigger beef than even us is probably Arizona and Miami. They probably think, especially
for sure.
Arizona. Arizona's probably going, we're good to go. They're waiting on Hopkins,
6
but like,
games, Here's the thing.
Why can't we go win the West or be second to, the Rams? That's the way they're dealing with it.
Here's the thing. One of the things that people focus on, and it's partly due to fantasy football, are your skill groups.
Yeah.
And when you don't have the quarterback, well, that's number one most important thing. But, Jacoby Brissett's not going to be considered a top half of the league quarterback. We hope that he plays that way, and in this offense, is better than what the perception of him is outside of this building. And we have probably, from a receiving core, we're probably in the bottom quartile of the league, right? So that's not sexy to people. People don't get excited about, you've got 3 amazing corners, 3 very good safeties, and Nick Chubb, okay. People don't get that excited about running backs unless it's Derrick Henry. And for some reason, he's just not regarded like that because he's never
say anything ever.
He doesn't say anything, and he never gets 300 carries in a season.
No. So he doesn't have that gaudy 1,800-yard year. Now maybe that could come this year. Maybe that comes this year.
Sure.
Through these 11 games and with where we are in the run game. I mean or in the pass game rather. Maybe that's when he has that explosion. But no, I think it's appropriate.
Next.
Higher or lower?
Buffalo is number 1, according to the ESPN NFL Nation crew. Number 2 is Tampa Bay. Higher, lower, or just right? Bishop. The floor is
Lower.
yours.
They're lower. They have real questions. Have you seen what's happened to them on the offensive line?
Boy.
From an injury standpoint in camp? Brady was gone for 11 days. I don't know. I think lower. I think the Rams should be higher than them. I think the Bengals are better than them right now.
Why are people all of a sudden
Chargers
predicting a fall off for the Bengals? I don't get it.
I don't
know
either.
It's a Super Bowl hangover, and it happens. I mean, it's a pretty real thing. It happens, but
I don't see it.
They got better in the points of their deficiencies, which were the offensive line. Yeah, their corners are a little bit of a, issue, but that still feels like a very good team. I think the Chargers.
And I was getting them. That was the other team that I would have ahead of them too. I would have the Rams, Chiefs, Bengals, Chargers, all ahead of them.
So
I don't understand them being that high.
I wonder if the Chargers are going to be this year's most overhyped team. I keep going.
If they are, then Brandon Staley's going to be fired because
he's
that
going to be the
roster
reason why.
is smoke. That roster is so good.
So good.
I mean, they got everything. There's just you go look at it.
Pass
Pull up
rush,
their
corners,
too deep.
receivers, line,
everything. Stud
linebackers.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Check bot. All.
Derwin.
If they don't,
Head coach,
if they don't win,
not a check mark yet.
No, but
Not
if they
a
don't,
check
then he's done because they have everything else.
All right. Next.
Higher or lower?
Los Angeles, the Rams
Yes.
are number 3. It takes us to number 4, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Zagura, higher, lower, or just right for KC?
I think it's just right. I think they're still really good. I know Tyreek Hill's a big part of what they did, but they've got a lot of weapons, and I think part of it was, yes, Tyreek Hill, again, tremendous benefits, but I also think Pat Mahomes at times got into the habit of holding the ball and looking for him as opposed to just pop, distributing it. And he's looked great in the preseason, just getting the ball out. I think they're a very good team. Good, solid defense, good lines, solid.
I don't know what his odds are like for MVP,
but you're in.
But I'm in.
Yeah.
Everyone's taking shots. Sammy Watkins. Oh, Rodgers is on another level. Tyreek Hill. Tua throws a better ball. By the way, this is Tua. All right, it says Tua smoking Darius Slay here. What's the first thing you notice?
He had to stop for the ball if Darius Slay didn't fall over.
Look at this, Gibby. Like this guy, Clay Ferraro at WPLG in Miami, claims that this is Tyreek Hill smoking Darius Slay. He has to stop for the ball. He ain't stopping if it's Mahomes slinging it.
If the DB turns around, it's a pick.
Yeah, he underthrew it. All right, anyway.
Sammy Watkins.
Next.
Higher or lower?
The Bengals are number 5. The Packers, number 6, takes us to number 7. And Zagura's Bay Area Bombers, the 49ers, number 7. Zagura, higher, lower, just right.
Roster is totally complete. They've got all you want. And the question is, right, what is Trey Lance? What is Trey Lance? Great coaching team, great, well-coached team. I think it's got to be lower, though. I think they are worse than 7. I would take the Chargers over them. And in many ways, to me, what is the biggest differentiator other than Kyle compared to, say, the Eagles, who feel like they have a very, very complete team, and the question for them is the quarterback, but Jalen Hurts has already taken them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like them at 15 is not right.
Yeah, it's lower. And it doesn't mean it can't get here.
No, and they could be
just
top 4.
They certainly have all of the pieces to be higher. They could win the Super Bowl if the bet on Trey Lance pays off. It's just a big bet, and we just haven't seen him. We have no idea. I mean, I really can't wait to see. In the NFC, I can't wait to see them play.
Agreed.
And I feel the same way about Jacksonville in the AFC. I can't wait to see what Lawrence does in year 2.
I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I think both of those. I want to see those young guys and see. I mean, Lawrence was a sure thing, and Lance was a big gamble.
Yes.
What's it
look like?
What's it look like?
I got Lawrence late in a draft where you can basically have a guy for his whole career, depending on where you drafted him. And
I like that.
I feel like Doug Peterson made Carson Wentz look like an MVP.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is good.
Yep.
Next.
Higher or lower?
Real quick, rapid fire. Ravens, higher, lower, just right at number 9, Bishop.
Lower. Coming off of huge injuries across the board. Running back, corners, all over the place. Unrest with Lamar.
This feels like some unrest.
Yeah. No.
And Dobbins isn't going to be ready for week 1. And
no.
neither is
Lower. They're not 10. This is on reputation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which they deserve down the line.
Up next at number 22, the Squealers. Higher, lower, or just right, Zagara?
That feels fine to me. They're below.
They have some guys.
They do, but
it's a weird makeup of that roster.
I think the Vikings should be better than they are.
The only problem I have is I think Washington is not better than them.
I don't think Washington's great.
All right, this is crazy. They have Seattle and Chicago ahead of Detroit. They're trying to lose
for the Lions
because they're just perpetual losers. That's why he's got to get the losing out of the pants.
He's got
sure. Final one.
Listen, man.
We
got to get this losing out of here,
Jets
man.
30.
I like that Jets team.
Final one, number 32, the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be. It's got to be them or Houston, Chicago. Those are the 3 worst teams in football.
Here's the funny thing.
I think they beat Chicago though right now.
At least they have a plan.
Atlanta's 32, Houston's 31, the Jets are 30.
Yeah, the Jets are better than 30.
Yep. 29 is Carolina.
The Jets are kind of
28
the
Giants, 27 the Jags, 26 the Lions.
Wasn't Breece Hall a stud?
He was at Iowa State. Yeah.
The Bears 25.
The Bears should be 31 or 32.
Yes.
The Seahawks should be down there.
The
too.
bottom
They're
3
both
should be the
trying to
Bears, Seattle, and Atlanta. It's the bottom
and
3.
Houston. Those 4.
I think Houston's going to be better than people think, but not great.
Those 4, I think, are the 4 worst teams.
Fair. And that is this week's higher or lower.
Better or worse.
Better or worse. So much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Cornucopia.
Way to cheer on your Cleveland Browns with the help of your favorite four-legged companion. Barking Backers, presented by Milkbone, is the Browns' newest club for pet parents worldwide. Sign up today at barkingbackers.com. Barking Backers, the fan club for dogs. Did you sign up, Asa?
You know it. She's in there. She's a barking backer. She's fired up.
You had a little Browns jersey with like a half on? Like kind of like
yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Be pretty strong for her.
Asa. Yeah, no, she's pumped about the backer. She's looking forward to the first backer gathering.
That's the gathering, yeah.
She's pumped. She loves other dogs.
She's an alpha female. Big fan of other dogs.
Not a fan of other dogs. Really not a fan of other humans.
I do miss when we were doing the coaches show and we were remotely during COVID. And Asa, like somebody would come to the door and Asa was just not having it.
Lose her mind.
Not having it.
I'm 10. Well, she's 13 pounds. I'm 13 pounds, and you're in a world of pain.
There's a lot coming your way.
Yeah. Get ready. All of it.
All of it. All right. The next level is coming up next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.